Hey, yo, what's up? It's Mike from True Trading Group. Are you guys ready for an amazing live stream with a massive amount of golden nuggets, all designed to help you to learn faster, trade smarter, and profit sooner? Of course you are, right? Of course you are. But now, before we begin, I want to show everyone something. All right. I'm talking to all TTG members, non-members, all the haters, the supporters, and everybody in between. I want you to see what you've motivated us to build and what we are continuing to build each and every single day. So please do me a favor. Sit back, relax, watch this quick 4-minute video that shows you the new TTG platform. When it ends, we're going straight into the live stream. And I promise you, you're leaving here with real takeaways that you can actually use to help yourselves make some money. All right, let's run it.
Hey, boy, it's your boy Jim.
Straight from y'all, street to Wall Street. Anybody tells you that money is the root of all evil doesn't have any. Oh, do wake up, get that girl hyped up just to get a little bit of only woman in the morning wanna turn on this Becky quick. While the average man's looking at curves like she fine as heck, I'm over here looking at tails and wicks like buy or sell. I left the chaos for the market. Nah, I don't want a street spot, I want a stock pick. I know that style got flair, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for distractions. My Vivo with PFs crossing, rich with hot trades from pushing hot keys, strategies and plans to make grand. Still in my tank top, Batman pajamas, house slides in about 5 hot picks of the day, cause I like the way the Dow moves. For hot dips on call, so I got options. Two with a lot of value, one with a double bottom. Now I know some folks don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my Mac day? You see, we're different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dogs, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, I grow with the market. Waking up with the future, stacking up some commas. I jump out of bed, make profit, pride, eat my bacon and eggs, make profit, I light up watching them candles, make profit, while I'm still in my sandals, making profit. They used to watch me move them packs, bro, stop it. Now I watch moves in the Nasdaq, making profit. Used to run from the ATF and the cops. Now I run down ETFs and making profit. I jump out of bed, make profit, eat my bacon and eggs, make profit. Light up watching them candles while I'm still in my sandals, making profit. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. He said today I'm taking the risk, they got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call it short squeeze. You get the drop, she pulls the trigger and shuts it down. If she stays on my watch list, I might have to keep her, but I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Go ahead, be bold. Trader, get your spy hit. I'll double top that guy, head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over, cause I see big moves in contracts. If I say I made 1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed, get split, get delisted and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. I get profit, jump out of bed, make profit, profit. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profit, profit. Light up watching them candles, make profit, while I'm still in my sandals, making profit. They used to watch me move them packs, bro, stop it. Now I watch moves in the Nasdaq, profit, making profit. Used to run from the ATF and the cop. Now I run down ETFs and make profit, profit. Hey, my family, we do, man. Make profit, profit. Hey, Suge Mike, what we doing, dog? Profit, profit. Make profit, that TTG money, profit, yeah. Profit, profit.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. I hope your football team won, unless, of course, you're an Eagles fan, then you didn't win. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really too upset about that, being a Giants fan myself. But we're going to continue because this is not a sports YouTube channel. It's a stock YouTube channel. I'm just kidding. We got a lot of our members in the Philadelphia area. So I do still love all of you. I'd like to make jokes. I like to poke. Okay. I'm a big sports fanatic on top of being a stock fanatic. So I had to just throw that one out there. Buddy of mine from college, diehard Eagles fan. And he was texting me talking crap at the beginning of the game because the Giants weren't in the playoffs. Who's laughing now? Let's get down to business. Let's talk about how we're going to be making money this week. We got a big week coming up. We have a ton of Fed members that are going to be speaking. You've got breaking news about a grand jury subpoena for the Federal Reserve with Jerome Powell. You've got CPI data coming out here this week. So there's a lot going on. We're going to have the banks and the financials are going to start to report earnings. So it's going to be a really busy week. Marcus just made a new all-time high on Friday. So we've started off 2026 with a very strong move to the upside. It's been one hell of a start to the year. Over 3.5% gain to start the year on the equal weight S&P. The Russell's been moving higher. The S&P's made every index has made a new all-time high except the Nasdaq. And that's important. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later on during this live stream. But here we sit right now. We're down a little bit less than 0.5% right now on futures. We're down just shy of 0.5%. We were just before we went live here. We touched down 0.5%. Now we're down, 0.46% right now. So I'm going to kind of lead you guys into what I'm thinking about here for this week and some of the stocks that are on my list. I do have some financials on my watch list here as well. There's also the comments that Trump had made about capping credit card interest rates at 10%. That if that actually does happen, then that's going to change some things for some of these credit card stocks. So I do have some stuff that I want to pay attention to. I want to look at some buy now, pay later names like an Affirm. I do want to take a look, obviously, at like a Visa, straight credit card. I even want to look at kind of like a JP Morgan. I'm going to be looking at some of those financials this week. I think this week the financials are going to be really, really, really in play. You're going to have obviously the credit card comments, but then you also have bank earnings kicking off at the end of the week. So I think there's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of opportunity there. Those are some areas of the market that I'm focusing on. I have a small cap that I made money on last week that I think might give us a continuation of a short squeeze. So we got a lot of variety on the watch list here to kind of start things off. So we're going to get into it all here today, guys, on this live stream. So welcome. Okay, my name is Michael Edward Parinati. I go by Michael Edward. I'm the co-founder and the head trader at True Trading Group. I'm thrilled to have you guys all here with you. Thrilled to have you guys all here with me tonight. You have to understand the thing about True Trading Group, we are not just a chat room with courses and trade alerts. Okay, True Trading Group is a fintech platform that literally exists to help you learn faster, trade smarter, and profit sooner. That's what we're going to do here tonight. We are very proud at True Trading Group to be powered by our partners at the Nasdaq, Benzinga, OpenAI, TradingView, DataBento, and of course, Unusual Whales. The SEC True Trading Group is an award-winning fintech platform. Okay, TTG had received the Benzinga FinTech Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. This is a platform that's built on education that's backed by decades of experience, strategies that are proven through success, and tools that actually think. Every part of it all customized around you, the individual user. So no matter how much time, money, experience you have or don't, this place exists, this platform exists to help you guys to make money. That's what we're going to do here. It's on this live stream as well here tonight. All right. So hope you guys are ready to roll your sleeves up and get down to business. If this is your first time on True Trading Group's YouTube channel on one of my live streams, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you guys are watching this video live. Okay, you want to make sure that you see a red dot at the bottom left of your screen to make sure that you're not watching this delayed. If you see a red dot, you're good. If you do not see a red dot, then you got to make sure you click the word live and bring you up to speed. All right, otherwise you'll be watching this thing delayed. All right. But make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're watching the video live. Smash the like button, show some love, turn on notifications. Make sure you never miss out on any of the live streams that I do here, because I drop, golden nuggets, free lessons, education, trade ideas, and commentary that I think can help you guys make some money. So go ahead and do that now if you have not done it yet. All right. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be wondering if you are new to the channel. You might be wondering, well, who is this guy? Why should I pay attention to anything it is that he discusses? I don't think you should pay attention when I just talk about on these live streams because I claim to be the world's greatest trader. I think you should pay attention here because I didn't learn this stuff on my own. I didn't sit in Discords. I didn't watch hours of YouTube videos. I was trained by professionals on Wall Street. My first job right out of college was working at T3 Alpha Fund. They had me go through a training program before they ever let me touch a dollar of the firm's money. Okay. And then shortly after that, you had the Great Recession. And that was the big stock market crash of 2008. But that is also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group, along with my team of 7 other professional full-time trading mods and an over 30-person staff. We've helped thousands of members from all over the world reach their goals. True Trading Group has over 10,000 members in 114 different countries, truly a global community here at True Trading Group. We trade stocks, we trade options, we do futures. Okay, there's crypto. We day trade, we swing trade, we do long-term portfolio investing as well. There's literally something for everybody here at True Trading Group. All right. So like I said, if you guys have not yet done so, just go ahead right now and smash that like button and show some love. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys are watching this video here live. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to take a quick little sip of water. We're going to get things going. We started off the first full trading week of 2026 with a bang. Really strong move here to the upside, the first full trading week of the year. You had Friday was your first trading day. Friday was actually an incredibly volatile day. The last 2 trading days of the last trading day of 25 and the first trading day of 26 were actually 2 incredibly volatile days. Sounds about right. I mean, 2025 was volatile as all hell, right? So it makes sense that we would end 25 with a volatile day and then start 26 with a volatile day and then give you a really strong push back to the upside on both the S&P, but also the equal weight S&P was even a better performer, taking you out there to new all-time highs, as well as the Russell 2000, even better performer, taking you to new all-time highs, and even the Dow pushing to new all-time highs. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq lags behind, nowhere near its October 2025 all-time high. And that's interesting. And it's interesting because it falls kind of right in line with my thought process coming into this year. My thought process coming into 2026 is that 2026 is going to be a year where the market rally broadens out. I'm still bullish for 2026, but I'm cautiously bullish. Stocks are expensive, sure, but stocks being expensive is not a reason by itself to sell them. Stocks can stay expensive for a very long time. It's usually when stocks are expensive and you get a rate hike cycle from the Federal Reserve, for example, is a situation where usually then that gives you, broader market sell-offs and bear markets. The last time we saw that was 2021. 2021 stocks were expensive and we were embarking on a rate hike cycle in 2022. And that is when we had the bear market of 2022. And that is the last time that I did a very aggressive selling in my long-term portfolio was September, October of 2021 going into 2022, because we knew that rate hikes were coming in 2022 to stop inflation. You knew that rate hikes were coming. There's no question about it. And stocks were expensive. But right now, that's a little bit of a different dynamic. Right now, yes, stocks are expensive. I'm not trying to say that they're not. They are. But the Fed's not raising rates right now. They've been cutting rates, and you're most likely not going to get a rate cut for the next several months, based on the data and everything that we've been seeing. And that's okay, but we're not going through a rate hike cycle. And the thought is there by, towards the middle to the end of the year, you're probably going to get at least 1, maybe even 2 more rate cuts. And if that is the case, and you have, monetary policy easing, you've got fiscal stimulus that's coming, you've got some deregulation that's coming in the financial sector as well. These are things that I would want to stay invested long-term. I'm not, looking to aggressively sell the long-term portfolio. I've trimmed some of my positions I've trimmed some Palantir, I've trimmed F11, I've trimmed Cisco, I've trimmed Micron. I've recently trimmed, some tech names, but just to raise some capital and buy on some pullbacks. But it's nothing aggressive. I'm not aggressively selling positions. So I still do remain cautiously bullish in the long-term portfolio. But as we come into this week, I mean, I can talk to you guys about long-term portfolio stuff till I'm blue in the face. But really the focal point here of today's live stream is going to be how can we make money this week? Okay, what do we think the markets are going to do this week? And with that being said, let me just real quick on 2026. I think 2026, you're going to be better off if all you own is Palantir and NVIDIA and Broadcom. I think you might underperform. I think this is a year where other areas of the market are going to do better than just the market cap heavy Mag 7. Mag 7 has drove this market for the last several years. I think that changes this year. I'm not saying that means I'm going ahead and I'm selling my Mag 7 names, because I'm not. They are my biggest positions, but I just think that diversity this year is going to be key. And I think you do that by owning stocks other than just Palantir and NVIDIA, for example. They've carried the load the last couple of years. I think they consolidate this year, and I think other areas of the markets do better with this stimulus that we have from a monetary policy standpoint and also from a fiscal policy standpoint. So that's what I'm thinking about for 2026, bigger picture. As we zone in here to this week, we've got a lot cooking, man. We've got a lot cooking, and we've got a lot cooking, and there's some stuff here that I think can give us some volatility to start things off. This is a really volatile overnight session. Okay, when the futures market had opened up, we initially dropped. Okay, we got as down as much as 0.5%. Now we're trying to bounce back, and we have a nice resistance level. If you guys are trading futures, if you're looking at futures, we have a nice resistance level at 69.90. 69.90 on futures is going to be a real nice area that we are going to be able to engage tomorrow and use as a backstop for some of our trades. Okay, and if I'm looking at the SPY, I'll just show you from a standpoint here on the SPY, where does that kind of line itself up? That lines itself up right around 693.50. So if you guys are trading the SPY, that area is right around 693.50. Okay, or actually it's really more 692.50. It's 692.50. So 692.50 is the first mark. Okay, these are going to be my two resistance levels that I'm going to focus on for tomorrow. The levels on the SPY are 692.50 and then 693.50. If the levels are, if you guys are trading futures, the level is 69.90 and then 7,000. Okay, so those are the two resistance levels that we're going to be looking at as we start off the week. All right. My thoughts here is that with this shakeup, with what's going on here with Jerome Powell, I think the markets might show you a little bit of worry tomorrow. I think that there's enough headlines between, if interest rates are capped on the credit card companies at 10%, then that should give you volatility in the financial sector. You should also already expect volatility in the financial sector because you have banks are going to be starting earnings at the end of the week. Then you have the grand jury subpoena sent to the Federal Reserve with Jerome Powell. These which is going to bring back into the conversation about Fed independence and the market's not liking if the Fed is not independent. Those things I think are going to give you a lot of volatility to start things off. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. All right, I think that all of that centered around CPI data on Tuesday, PPI data on Wednesday. The jobless claims, we always get them on Thursday to check out the job market. And then you have all of your Fed members basically speaking this week. So I think we have to really expect a little more volatility this week than what we maybe saw last week. And that means sizable moves to the downside and also sizable moves to the upside. And as a trader, that's what we love. That's what we live for. as a trader, I like large moves to the downside. I like large moves to the upside. It doesn't necessarily matter the direction. It just matters that we're actually getting directional momentum and we're getting sizable moves. Volatility is a trader's best friend. And we had a lot of it in 2025. I expect a lot of it in 2026. And I think this week coming up is absolutely no different. What I don't want you guys to be, there's a lot of people that maybe had some of their New Year's resolutions that said, okay, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year I'm going to do this. This is going to be the year that I'm going to dedicate more time. This is going to be the year I'm going to take this more seriously. And maybe you got yourself involved in the markets last week. And if you did, congratulations. It was a beautiful week. You could have made a lot of money last week. A lot of our trade ideas from last week panned out. We had some really great trades inside chat last week, whether it was futures, if it was options, if it was stocks, it was small caps, or if it was large caps, or whatever it was. There was a lot of really good trade alerts sent out from the moderators and also issued through True Trading Group's Holy Grail tool last week that did really, really well. Our Holy Grail tool was on fire last week. For those who don't know what that is, it's our latest AI tool that we've launched at True Trading Group. Again, it's a fintech platform. We're not just a chat with trade alerts and courses, okay? The Holy Grail tool, essentially what it allows you to do, and if we can maybe even just pull it up on the screen, just kind of show people just what it looks like. All you need to do is type in, what are you looking to trade? Do you trade stocks, options, crypto, or futures? Select that, right? So let's you want to trade stocks. So you would select stocks. And then you just type in your ticker symbol. If you want to trade the SPY, okay, or you want to trade NVIDIA or AMD or Tesla, well, if you want to trade options, you would select options, and maybe you want options on the SPY, whatever. You would select whatever you want to trade. You would put in your account size and how much you want to risk on the trade. And then you would select, do you want to scalp, a day trade, a swing trade, or a long-term investment? And then you would just click run analysis. That's it. Very simple, straightforward, very little input from you. And then a multi-agent system goes to work. A technical agent analyzes all the technical indicators, chart patterns, support resistance, volume, price action. Okay. Then you have a macro agent that analyzes all of your news, that analyzes economic data, okay, and all the catalysts. Then you've got your wild card agent. This is all happening right now while you're seeing this analysis run, okay? And then you have that wild card agent, which is just risk. That wild card agent is just to monitor and control your risk. What are some of the things that could possibly happen that can throw your trade for a loop? And make sure that how can we handle something like that? Like, for example, let's say if you were doing a swing trade on AMD, but maybe NVIDIA has earnings the next day. That wildcard agent's job is to make sure that you are aware that there is something that's going to be happening that could impact your swing trade, and you need to position accordingly for it. Okay. So that's very, very important kind of piece there. So here we just ran one. For here, and you guys can see, let me just kind of blow this up just so I can see it myself. And everything comes with a confidence score. Okay. Everything comes with a confidence score, and it gives you very specific triggers. It tells you where, what the ideal entry point is, tells you what your stop loss should be, tells you what your profit target should be. And then as you scroll down, you'll actually see the individual agents, and you'll see a confidence gauge on all of the different macro agents, right? Now, I think we just ran this on the SPY for stocks, but obviously the SPY is not open right now, so it's not focusing on the data of the futures. So obviously you would run this again. I'm just showing this to you for an example. You would run this again tomorrow, okay? Or you can run it for futures right now. It is 24/7. You could run it on futures data. And give you analysis on futures. You can trade Bitcoin with this, Ethereum, whatever. You can trade crypto. It doesn't matter. Okay. It can give you anything. All right. And then you'll go through and you can actually read the report, and it gives you very detailed analysis and breakdowns of what to do, entries, exits. It gives you position size suggestions based on the risk tolerance that you said that you inputted, all with confidence scores. Okay. This is the Holy Grail tool. This is our latest tool that we've released from True Trading Group. It's been an absolute game changer for members in True Trading Group. We have a lot of things in TTG. We have AI charts. We've got the level 3 data. Okay. We have a data partnership agreement with the Nasdaq where we actually get level 3 data directly from the Nasdaq. And we're integrating the level 3 data into the Holy Grail tool for its analysis. We've integrated into our AI charts for its analysis. That Holy Grail tool so far, it's been live now for about 5 weeks. We launched it at the very beginning of December. 5 or 6 weeks it's been live now. Has a successful hit rate of around 74% right now. So we've had, I think, around 70,000 trading plans have been generated by members since that tool has been launched, with a success rate of around 74%. And how do we determine success rate? Once a run is generated, is the entry zone reached? And then after the entry zone is reached, does it go to your profit target first, or does it go to your stop loss first? If it goes to the profit target first, it's a successful trading plan. If it goes to the stop loss first, obviously it is an unsuccessful trading plan. And it is getting to your profit targets after entry at a 74% clip. That is absolutely incredible. And it's a big reason why we've had a lot of members that are really having success here with True Trading Group. It's the tools, it's the resources, it's the fintech platform, it's the community. It's not, as much as I would love to say, it's all the wonderful trade alerts that we have at True Trading Group. And we have great ones. The moderators and I collectively sport a cumulative win rate of around 80% now, going on the last 6 years. We track all of our entries, take profits, stop losses. It's all right there for you guys to see, right? We're fully transparent about it. But we have had a lot of members that, did courses, we're trying to follow trade alerts, we're, attending boot camps, and they still really weren't reaching the level of consistent profitability that they wanted. Once we started coming out with these tools like the Holy Grail tool, they completely kind of turned the corner. And the vast majority of our members are making money. They're having success. They're becoming better traders. And you shouldn't just take my word for it. You should actually listen to members themselves. Obviously, I can sit up here and tell you, sure, members are making money, but it doesn't mean anything if I just say that. It means something if our members actually say that. So let me actually see. We've got over 1,000 people that are on this live stream with me tonight. Look at that. Susie was 13 of 13 last week, scalping the SPY with the Holy Grail tool. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. 13 of 13 scalping the SPY with the Holy Grail tool. That is absolutely incredible. So that's even better. That's a 100% hit rate, which is amazing. Realistically, not sustainable to have a 100% win rate. Okay. Right now, the win rate on that tool is around 74%. Congratulations, though, Susie. Hell of a week. Okay, let's keep it going this week. I think we're still going to have tons of opportunities this week. But let me get back to what I was going to kind of getting at there. Let me actually prove to you, for those of you that are maybe not members and you're unsure, members of True Trading Group that are on this live stream right now, if you are not a member of True Trading Group, okay, I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to ask. Members of TTG, okay, if you are making money and you are becoming better traders because of True Trading Group, I want you to go ahead right now and type the number 1. Again, go ahead right now and type the number 1 if you are a member of True Trading Group and you are making money and becoming a better trader because of True Trading Group. Go ahead and type the number 1 in chat now. All of these people typing the number 1 that you see on the side of the screen, they are no different from you. They don't have more time than you. 82% of our members have a full-time job. They sure as hell aren't luckier than you. If they can do this, then so can you. Use the tools. Use the resources. Use the platform. That's the difference maker. This is an entire terminal for retail traders. The way that we like to look at True Trading Group is everybody has heard of a Bloomberg terminal. If you haven't, it's the software that every single hedge fund and professional on planet Earth uses all over the world. It's around $35,000 a year per user. But that software gives professional traders access to data, analytics, resources, and tools that the average retail trader simply does not have access to. And those data, those tools, analytics, and data allow those traders to make better informed and more accurate decisions on a more consistent basis. What we are building here at True Trading and what we have built is a TTG, what we're calling the TTG terminal, which gives retail traders tools, resources, data, analytics that can help them make better decisions to improve their consistency and their profitability. At the end of the day, that's what you guys are all here for, right? Every single person that's on this live stream has probably at some point made money in the stock market. Yeah, at some point, whether it was a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, or maybe even a year back in 2020 or 2021, you made money at some point. But you've never been able to be consistent. What we are building and have built here at True Trading Group is a platform of resources and tools that are designed to improve your consistency, so that it's not just about making money and then trying to figure out how to keep it. It's about making money on a consistent basis and then growing the capital that you are making, rather than make it, lose it, make it, lose it, make it, lose it. And you want to ram your head through a wall. That's why most of you are on here. Most of you have made money in the markets before, but you just haven't been able to keep it. And that's an incredibly frustrating place to be, because you kind of get a little taste of what success is like and what's possible in the market because you've made the money before. You just can't do it on a regular, reoccurring basis. And that's the problem. But you've had a taste of the success, and that's the allure, and that's why you continue to come back, and that's why you're here. You just haven't yet been able to find something that's allowed you to get those results on a regular basis. That is the difference maker that you're seeing with members in True Trading Group. That's why so many of these people that I just said, type the number one if you're making money. You guys are becoming better traders. You saw all the people that were typing the number one. And I'm telling you here right now, I have no problem saying it. It is not because I'm the world's greatest trader and I can predict the future. And I tell everybody on Tuesday, Tesla's going to close at this price, and everybody just gets into a position. And on Tuesday, magically, Tesla closes at that price. That's not why all of our members are making money. That's not why we have over 10,000 members from 114 different countries. It is not why we have partnerships with OpenAI and Unusual Whales and the Nasdaq. That's not why we have all of those things. We have all those things because what we are building here works, period. Members have success. Members make money. They tell friends, family members, coworkers, they join. How many people, quick show of hands, type the number 2, if you have ever referred a family member, a friend, a coworker, even a complete stranger, if you ever referred somebody or recommended they check out True Trading Group for help, type the number 2 if you have ever recommended True Trading Group to somebody. Type the number 2. What you're about to see is our biggest, this is how True Trading Group markets. We market through our member success, because if your members are successful, then they're going to tell other people about their success. And then those other people are going to want to know, how the hell are you making this much money on a monthly basis? And they're going to say, well, True Trading Group, their holy grail tool, their AI charts, these moderators, this, their mentorship, the community, the platform, this and that, level 3, everything else. And they're going to say, wow, shit, those sound like really amazing things. Let me check it out. They join. What do you know? They start having success. And the cycle repeats. We don't spend $1 million a month on marketing. These live streams, this is me marketing. This is the extent of our marketing. You come onto a live stream with me for an hour, hour and a half. I tell you about True Trading Group. I tell you about the platform. I give you some damn good analysis that can help you make money this week, actionable information. But I also tell you a little bit about the platform. And there's over 10,000 members of True Trading Group that are damn glad that I do that. I'm curious how many people are on this live stream right now that are not members. If you're not a member, do me a favor real quick. Type the letters TTG. Type the letters TTG if you are not a member. I want to see how many people we have on here. I know obviously we have a lot of members, but how many of you are not members? Type the letters TTG if you're not a member. Oreo, we got to change that, man. You've been on a lot of these live streams, Oreo. So go ahead and type TTG if you guys are not a member of the platform. Supergirl 007, how are you? Yeah, but Oreo, we've got to change that. You've been on these live streams a lot. We got to get you moving on over here to TTG. All right, listen. So for those of you that are not members, okay, if you guys are not a member of True Trading Group, okay, if you are not a member, I want you guys to go to ttgoffer.com right now. That is ttgoffer.com right now. Okay, go to ttgoffer.com now. Everything that you see on that page is included in your membership. It is just $647 for the entire year. And you also do get a double your money back guarantee with that. And it also includes some runs of the Holy Grail tool that I had just mentioned and showed you guys. So you are going to be able to use that Holy Grail tool. That is a premium product at True Trading Group that is going to be included with your membership for 30 Holy Grail runs. So you're going to be able to generate 30 trading plans with that tool that has a 74% hit rate currently after the first around 5 or 6 weeks of its use on the TTG platform, with around 70,000 trading plans being generated. Okay. You're going to be able to use that tool and get 30 trading plans, anything it is that you're looking for: Tesla, AMD, NVIDIA, Coinbase, Bitcoin, MES, NQ, gold, silver, doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you guys want to trade, you can use it. Okay. It also will come with a double your money back guarantee. It's right there in black and white on the checkout page for you guys to see. We stand behind the platform that we've created. We put our money where our mouth is. And if you join True Trading Group and you spend $647, if you complete our courses, okay, log into our platform at least 50 days during the year membership and actually trade with real money. If you guys cannot make back the $647 membership fee that's going to cost you to join, if you can't make that back at least once, we're going to give you back double. We'll give you back $1,294. That is the deal and the commitment that we make to you when you join True Trading Group. We can do that because our refund rate is less than 2.5%. Our retention rate amongst members is well into the 70s. So I have absolutely no problem offering you guys a double your money back guarantee for those that join. There are going to be 20 spots available at this $647 price point, and then the price is going to go up. So whatever happens here first, midnight tonight or 20 people join, that price then jumps from $647 up to $747. You guys can join now for $647. If you have any questions, send us a text message to 1-888-621-2127. Again, that is 1-888-621-2127. Full-time worker here. I like everything I hear. I was referred by a friend. How much of my time on a daily basis would this take? Okay, so that's a wonderful question. All right. So again, this goes right back to the point I was just saying. I was referred by a friend. How much of my time would this take up? So here's the deal. 82% of our members have a full-time job. So the vast majority of our members are not sitting in front of their computer screen all day, every day, staring at charts. All right. We do have a mobile app that keeps you connected to our chat room, even if you're not in front of your computer. So you are notified the moment that any one of our moderators enters or exits a position. So you can still track everything that we are doing. You can listen to the audio commentary. You can watch the screen share. The mods and I trade with you live. We share our screens. We talk to you on the microphone throughout the entire trading day, give you analysis, trade ideas, commentary and everything else. But this is something that I would say, if you can just give me a couple hours a week. I don't need, honestly, Yugesh, I don't need you to give me 4, 5, 6 hours a day. I don't need you to give me 20, 30, 40 hours a week. I really don't. It really depends on how active of a trader you want to be. We have members that are in front of their computer all day, every day. We have full-time traders that are part of True Trading Group. We have people that work from home that trade, all throughout the day, that obviously put a lot of time into this. But then we have members that maybe they swing trade. They maybe take 2 or 3 trades a week. They go on our AI. They communicate with Mari, our AI. They filter through. They develop a watch list based on their preferences and the stuff they like to trade and their risk tolerance. And if they're a swing trader, they focus on swing trade setups. And our AI will help them generate a watch list of trade ideas. They take that watch list. They then go to the Holy Grail tool. They enter the ticker symbols into the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail gives them a very detailed trading plan. They then take that detailed trading plan and they drop it onto the AI charts that we have. And then the AI charts will plot the entry, the stop loss, the profit targets. You can set notifications when these things are reached, and you can just go about your day. And then while the AI is tracking your trade, it'll notify you when a profit target is reached, or it'll notify you when your entry is reached, or if your stop loss is being reached. Okay. If something happened, if a piece of news took place, it can, help you adjust your position size and everything else. So you don't need to be staring and monitoring this all day long. The whole point of this platform is to allow retail traders the edge that professionals have without having to be sitting in front of a computer all day long and spending $35,000 a year on a Bloomberg terminal. That's the whole point of this platform. That's what it is designed for. It's why it exists. It's what it's accomplishing on a daily basis. So when you ask me how much time is this going to take up, it's up to you, brother. It's up to you. If you're going to be a scalper and you're going to trade all day long, it's going to take up more time. You're going to be a swing trader, you want to make a couple of trades a week, it'll take up less time. That's the truth. All right? That's the truth. All right? I'm curious about the price of the Holy Grail tool. Don't worry about the price of the Holy Grail tool. When you join True Trading Group right now, you are going to get 30 Holy Grail runs included. Okay? The whole idea here is that you're going to use those 30 trading plans that tool is going to generate, and that's going to make you enough money to pay for it. That's the plan. That's the idea. Don't worry about the cost of it. You're going to get to use it when you join. It is a premium product. Okay. It does cost more money for people to use, but it's a usage-based tool. Okay. The more you use it, the more runs that you want to have, the more it's going to cost. But if you are making money with it, then it obviously well more than pays for itself. Worry about the price of it after you've already made the money using it. And then we'll talk about the price of the tool. That's me giving you my honest thoughts and my honest assessment. And I don't think any of our members would feel otherwise. Members, yes or no? Is that a fair statement? Is that a fair, way for this person to think about it? What do you guys think? Yes, no? You think what I'm saying makes sense? Is what I'm saying accurate? Is what I'm saying true? What do you guys think? We've got another. So someone says, all I can say is I've been a member for 3 years. I run a landscaping company and a garden center full time. This platform serves guys like me very well. I have a very demanding job, so I took all the swing trades until I partially retired on January 4th. I absolutely love that. Congratulations. It's amazing what I have learned in the 5.5 years that I have been a member. TTG is like Christmas every day, to be honest. Right? Sean is also asking for the cost of the Holy Grail tool. Guys, I'm telling you, I wouldn't even. Oh, LS, you're a lifetime member. So you're already a member. Okay, so LS, just send us a text message. LS, I didn't realize that you were already a member, brother. My bad. So LS, just send a text message to 1-888-621-2127, and then we can help get you set up with the Holy Grail tool. So again, just send a text 1-888-621-2127. All right. So again, guys, go to ttgoffer.com. Okay, that's ttgoffer.com. Everything on that page is included for $647. After 20 people join or midnight tonight, whatever happens first, price jumps over $700 to $747. You guys can get in now for $647. You have any questions, just text us 1-888-621-2127. Okay. And that goes for anybody else too. Anybody else, if you guys have any questions, you guys can text that number. All right. And don't forget, you guys have the W money back guarantee that's there as well. Use the tools. Okay. The whole point, okay, is to use the tools that are at your disposal. That is the reason why so many of our members are having success. Use them. All right. Excellent. All right. Let's take things on over to the charts. Let's talk about, kind of what we're thinking about here for this week. I already kind of gave you guys my thoughts about the overall market. I think we gear up here for a red day tomorrow. I think there's enough here between the grand jury subpoena with Jerome Powell and concerns over Fed independence, the market's coming off an all-time high, the hit that you're probably going to see in the financial sector from the comment about capping credit card rates to just 10% instead of like some of these credit card rates are like 27%, but capping those rates at 10%. That's going to hit Visa. That should hit MasterCard. It's probably going to hit JP Morgan. It'll hit Wells Fargo. It'll hit Bank of America. And the financials have been a really strong area of the market to start off the year. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all making new all-time highs, right? You know, you have Citigroup, Bank of America having really strong starts to the year. So you get a little bit of a cool off there. That's probably going to pull the Dow Jones down just a bit. And the Dow has actually been an area of the market that has been pulling this market higher. And I think we see a little bit of a cool off there in the financial sector tomorrow on the back of these two things that we have going on. And that could also then start to add to a little bit of earnings jitters because the banks are going to report earnings at the end, starting the end of this week. And they've had really big runs. If I take a look at JP Morgan and I go to a daily chart, which JP Morgan is my largest financial, my largest position in the financials. Look at this run that JP Morgan's had the last 2 years. I mean, it's phenomenal. Look at Wells Fargo, absolutely phenomenal, right? Look at Bank of America, phenomenal. Citigroup, phenomenal. These are huge moves. So you might come into the day tomorrow and get now pullbacks in these areas, and I think that is an overhang on the markets as a whole. So I am thinking about a pullback day here tomorrow. I am thinking about maybe a day. I'll delete these two lines here. I'll get back to them in just a second. I'm thinking about maybe a day tomorrow that puts in something that looks like this. Okay, a candle that looks something like this. We put in maybe this little bit of a harami type of candle formation. I did say to our members last week that my thoughts are to start off the year. My thoughts are in 2026 that we would push and make a new all-time high, and then that new all-time high fails to follow through, and then you get a little bit more of a pullback, and that pullback takes you back down into this 50-day moving average, which is this dark blue line you see on my screen. I still do feel like this is the case. I thought we might have seen it on Wednesday into Thursday, but then you had the jobs report on Friday, which the markets really liked. You had productivity numbers, which the market really liked, and that sent the markets back to the upside to the new high. But now with the catalyst that you just saw over the weekend about the credit cards and everything with Jerome Powell, I think that now you're down 0.5% right now back to lows on futures. That can maybe give us then that pullback that I'm looking for. And if the bank earnings do not follow through, because the expectations are that these earnings are going to be pretty good. If they disappoint, then that gives the market becomes susceptible to a pullback if the banks disappoint. The markets also become susceptible to a pullback if the CPI number that we're going to get on Tuesday is higher than expected. This CPI number is really important. Let me explain to you why. We got November CPI number was amazing. Okay, a 30 basis point drop from 3.0 in the month of September, okay, or the previous month, all the way down to 2.7. The expectation was it was going to come in around 3.0, maybe 3.1, came in 2.7, and then the other one 2.6. So really good numbers. However, we don't necessarily yet know if those numbers for November are confirmed. And the reason for that is because the Bureau of Labor Statistics had to make a couple of estimates to factor into the formulas they use to calculate the CPI, because they did not have all of the data from the government shutdown. So that government shutdown impeded the BLS's ability to collect the data that it needs to input all the formulas, input all the values into the formulas that they use to come up with the CPI number. So they had to make some estimates or approximations of whatever those numbers were. Maybe those estimates were correct. And maybe that 2.7 number that we got from November is the right number, but we just don't know for sure yet. A December CPI number that comes in, let's say 2.9, invalidates the November number, because it's very unlikely that inflation went from 3.0 to 2.7 back to 2.9 in the span of 3 months. That's very, very, very unusual and highly unlikely. So what that would tell you is that November's number just wasn't really 2.7. But if December's number comes in at 2.6 or 2.7 or 2.5, then that confirms and validates November's number, the 2.7, the estimates that the BLS put in were correct. So that's why this CPI number, I think, is going to be pretty important. The markets are also getting very comfortable or getting, coming to grips with the fact we're not going to get a rate cut for several months. The last rate cut that we got is probably the last one we're going to have until maybe the spring or maybe even early summer. Really, probably maybe even early summer. All right. So, but at least for the next couple of months, we're most likely not going to be getting a rate cut. So if the CPI number comes in light, the markets will like it. Markets can probably bounce. They can probably shrug off maybe what's going on with Jerome Powell. They can shrug off maybe the drop that you get because of the interest rates on credit cards. And then you can maybe see the markets, then the dip then gets bought in the financials going into the earnings prints after the stocks come off 4 or 5%. People probably say, you know what, we're not, extended. I'll buy the 4 or 5% dip going into earnings. And that stabilizes the market, stabilizes the pullback. So these catalysts are going to be really important. Okay. That's what I want to be paying attention to. All right. So we'll see if we do get that little harami type of formation on the daily chart, but I am going to be coming into this week thinking short side here to kind of start things off. And my target on the SPY is going to be down around 689. Okay, I think on futures, we can at least get down to 69, the low 69.50s. It's not too far away from where we currently sit. It's about 20 points away. And I think and then, we can look to see if does that pullback give us a little bit more depth down into that 50-day moving average. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the overall market. Individual stocks, I'm going to start things off with the small cap. We made some money on IMBS on Friday. This is an incredibly low volume stock, but it is going through and experiencing a short squeeze. And it did run right into the after hours close and made a new high right into the after hours, right before the after hours trading stopped or closed. So what I want to look for is 1850 support. Okay, 1850 support. And see if this IMBS squeezes into the 20s. And see if we just get something crazy that just looks like this. Okay, you have huge resistance up here in the 20s, right? There's resistance in the 20s. Okay, here's more resistance in the 20s, more resistance in the 20s. So I just think that it's a nice spot for if we're going to get a short squeeze. I think it's a nice spot for us to just squeeze up into the 20s and the stock runs out of steam up there. So we're going to keep this one on watch. Made money on it Friday. We're going to look to try to capitalize on it again if the short squeeze continues. We have to welcome Jack. Jack just joined. Everybody welcome Jack, newest member of True Trading Group. Everybody welcome Jack. We are now down to 19 of those spots at 647. Then the price jumps to 747. Everybody welcome Jack. Again, guys, ttgoffer.com. Everything on that page is included. And of course, you do get the double your money back guarantee. Next up on the watch list, after INBS, we're going to be looking at Affirm. Here's my thoughts on Affirm. I am going outside the box here on Affirm. And I am not sure how Affirm is going to react to the comments about capping credit card interest rates at 10%. My thought process here on Affirm is as follows. If credit card companies are only allowed to go up to 10% interest, it's really great for people that are responsible with their credit cards, but it's going to be a negative for people that I think overextend. What's probably going to end up happening is the credit card companies, if they're not able to charge the higher interest rate for a high risk borrower, they may cut that borrower off. If that borrower has less access to credit card usage, then they may rely more heavily on buy now, pay later systems. So that's my thought. However, it is possible a firm could just react with the credit card companies. Okay. Their business model is a bit different. All right. It's not the same as the rolling interest on the credit card. So I'm not sure how the buy now, pay later systems are going to react to this headline. You probably most likely should see Visa, MasterCard. You should see all those stocks gap down tomorrow. But I'm wondering if a firm shows relative strength. If a firm shows relative strength in the morning, then I think we could have a pretty decent trade into the mid to high 80s. Okay. And what I'm thinking is this $80 level. Just look at this chart. Look at this level. And we have to welcome Odessa. Guys, Odessa just joined. We are now down to just 18 spots. Odessa just joined. 18 spots now remain. Everybody welcome Odessa. Guys, again, if you have any questions, text us 1-888-621-2127. So let's take a look at this chart of a firm. And we also have to welcome Will. Everybody welcome Will. We're now down to 17 spots. Everybody welcome Will. So you guys can see real nice resistance back here in August. Then it became support in September. Then you gapped underneath it and it became resistance. And then again, resistance. And again, resistance. And then just last week, we broke above it. And after we broke above it, you can see now 3 out of those 4 trading days, support held. And now we have to welcome Rob. Now there's only 16 of these spots remaining. Everybody welcome Rob. 16 of these spots remaining. Rob, welcome to the family. And now we got to welcome Steve. 15 spots now remain. Guys, these spots are going quick. Remember, after 15 people join or midnight tonight, the price jumps to $747. We have to welcome Steve. Go to ttgoffer.com, grab yours before the price increases. So here's this level here at $80 on a firm. My thoughts here are, if after this news, a firm still does not break 80, I think we have to be long against 80. So let's see if the markets think about a firm the same way that I was thinking about a firm, that it could see an uptick in usage in buy now, pay later. But I'm not entirely sure. That really is kind of like an out of the box type of thought. So I'm not sure how the market's going to react to it. But if we are above 80 after this news, I'll look at it for the long. If we break underneath 80, forget about it. Okay? If I don't see relative strength on a firm tomorrow morning, I'm most likely not going to take that trade. Sticking with financials, let's go over to JP Morgan. And with JP Morgan, I'm just going to look for a little bit of a cool off, a little bit of a pullback. Okay, that takes us back into the low 320s. You have a nice resistance level here around 332. This news of the credit cards most likely gaps this down, and then maybe a little anxiety over earnings coming up at the end of the week gives you a follow-through pullback that takes you back into previous support around 322. We have to welcome Saya. Saya, welcome to True Trading Group. Now there's only 14 spots left. Everybody welcome Saya. 14 spots now remain. So we're going to look to see if we get a gap down here on JP Morgan, which I anticipate we will. We look for a continued sell down towards 322 support level. That's on JP Morgan. Keeping things going, next up on the watch list, the next couple of stocks I have are going to be all shorts. All right, we're going to be looking at Kava, shorts off of 72. Kava has had a really nice rally the last month and a half or so. The RSI is getting extended up at 84. So we are overbought here on the RSI. But we also ran right into this yellow line, which is the 200-day moving average. And this is not just only the 200-day moving average. It is also this resistance from this earnings gap down in August. But prior to that gap down and this 72 becoming resistance, it was a massive level of support. Okay. This was a massive level of support for Kava. All right. Huge. This was the Japanese yen carry trade blow up low from August of 24. It was the Liberation Day tariff announcements low of the crash of during April. Okay. And then you gapped underneath it with earnings, it became resistance and you sold off. Now you're back into that level. That is a massive level of resistance. So what we're going to look for here on Kava is for Kava to do this. Okay. We're looking for Kava to pull back to 67, 68, 67, 68. Okay. Call it 67. Okay. I'm looking for Kava to pull back into around 67. All right. So we're going to look for shorts on Kava. I don't think Kava gets back above Friday's close, which is 70.5. Any bounce up towards 70.5, we'll take that as an entry for the short and try to ride that down to 67. That is Kava. Then we're going to go on over to some semiconductors, and AMD has just been really weak. Even after, Lisa Su and Jensen Huang made some really positive comments at CES out in Vegas, the stocks still have not been able to find their footing. And I just think that with this 100-day moving average that we're sitting at here on AMD, see this 100-day, we broke underneath it on Friday. I just kind of feel like this pullback just is going to give you a little bit more. It's tough because you've had five red days in a row. So it's tough to still, think short after 5 red days in a row and not feel like you're kind of beating a dead horse and the stock might get a bounce. But there's a nice support level down here underneath 200 in the high 190s. And I just think AMD is going to get there. So we're going to look for AMD. We're going to look for shorts, okay, against this 100-day, which is like 204, 205. And then we're going to try to see if we can get down to like 198. All right, that's AMD. And then last but not least, OKLO. Now, OKLO is interesting because they had some really good news. They had some really good news with VST and with Meta, but it still was not enough to break through resistance at 115. We have to welcome Jose. There's only 13 spots now left. Everybody welcome Jose. 13 spots left, guys. Welcome Jose. So this resistance that you have up here around 15 was not enough, the news was not enough. So I just think that this has a little bit more of a pullback, and I think you fill the gap. So I'm looking for OKLO just to pull back down to like 100, maybe 98, 100, 98, somewhere in that zone. So let's just look for a little bit more of a pullback there. Let's get into this 50-day moving average. Let's get into this 9 EMA, right? So here your 50-day moving average would be here. Your 9 EMA would be here, and that crossover can give you a little bit of a little cup that you can just kind of drop right down into and just kind of stabilize. So I'm looking for a little bit more downside there on OKLO after it was unable to break 115 after some really good news last week. Okay? And that's it, folks. That does it. Those are my thoughts. These are some of the stocks that are on my list to start off the week. We'll see how it all goes. Like I said, we are red on futures. We're down 0.5%. We'll see if this gap down holds. I think it will. I don't think we're going to reverse and go back green, but we'll have to wait till tomorrow morning. Listen, market's open 12 hours from now. A lot can happen in 12 hours. We'll see what things look like when we wake up tomorrow morning. But this is how I'm going to start off my week. I'm going to be looking at these names. I'll obviously add stuff to my watch list depending on what news comes out and what happens. But I like these ideas. I like the plays, and we're going to start things off this week. All right. So that's it, folks. Those of you that have not yet joined the community, there are 13 spots left at the $647 price point. Then the price jumps to $747. So go to ttgoffer.com. Everything you see on that page is included for $647. You will also be getting 30 Holy Grail runs included with your membership. You got the double your money back guarantee. Any questions, text us 1-888-621-2127. Have a wonderful rest of your night, folks. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, show some love. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Take care, folks. See you guys in the morning.